And benvenuti. Speaker of Vesuvius, Rafa Rispo.
What's up, Raffa Bizzarro? Come stai?
Ciao bello, tutto a posto. Hello to you.
A posto qua.
All right, well, looping music here. What's going on?
Got loopy music.
Got that loop on. It's a glitch in the matrix, but
little loopy.
Little loopy, huh? But welcome to you, Rafa. Welcome to everybody at channel or audio listeners. Let's get this rant on the road. But before we do, show your support by subscribing to our YouTube channel and be sure to give this episode a like. Yes, thank you for all that, guys. But big win today, big win this weekend, rather. Big test. Oh my God, I can't wait to talk about this. Napoli defeat Roma in Rome at the Stadio Olimpico. 1-0. What a game, Rafa. What a game.
It was a great game, man. And I'll tell you what, I'd be lying if I didn't tell you I was nervous for this one. Even though Dybala was out injured, Roma's got hit by the injury bug a little bit. Tammy Abraham cold as ice. I thought this would be the slip up here. But you know what, man? We took care of business, didn't we? We really did.
We did, Rafa. We certainly did. It was probably one of the tougher games that we faced this season. Mourinho's been certainly real tough out there, and I think even at a mentality standpoint, this was one of those games that I was like, all right, if we're gonna tie, if we're gonna get a draw, it's gonna be today, or it's gonna be against Roma. I know that last season, kind of Mourinho had Mourinho kind of was in Spalletti's head a little bit. We even saw like last season what he did. He changed up his formation a bit. He was real temperamental on Spalletti. That is, he was real temperamental, kind of on the side of the pitch where Mourinho looked a little bit more calm. And I felt like it was the opposite this time, where Mourinho was the one that seemed like all the pressure was on him. And Spalletti, don't get me wrong, he's out there kind of screaming and yelling, giving directions to his players, but it seemed as if like everybody knew what to do. He spoke a little bit about it in the press conference as well, and they were able to bang out that result despite all the adversity. So
yeah,
I was pleased, Rafa. I was pleased.
Sure, of course. Listen, and we're gonna also talk about his approach to the game, Spalletti. The lineup he put out, the substitutions he made, the substitutions he did not make. That's on the docket, and I'm really impressed, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what we do on Wednesday against Rangers.
All right.
1 point is only 1 point needed to win the group, guys, which would make the Liverpool game more like a glorified exhibition, wouldn't it? You always want to win these games because winning means money. And if Napoli could go 6 wins in the groups, that would be wonderful. I mean, that would just be. When was the last time an Italian team did that? But that's kind of looking ahead. We're gonna get to Roma. We're also gonna talk about a few other things, right, Raff? Today?
Right. Yeah, we have a few things on the docket. Our co-main rant today would be the that one piccolo cosa. It's always about that one little thing that sometimes Napoli was missing. Maybe ADL, maybe the way in the market, and the way of the team, and the way of the fans. I don't know. There was always that one little thing. That did Napoli finally get there? We'll talk about that. And then, of course, the main rant, SOURHINO. Today, kind of like, I was watching, he said what he said on the Danzin network, and then he kind of switched up his tune a little bit during the actual press conference. So, but we'll get into that and how we feel about it. But overall in the game, Rafa, did anybody, who was your guy that day? I mean, I remember looking over the highlights and I saw like Lozano was making a lot of noise, man. I think he was like one of his best games, in my opinion, in a long time at the very least.
For sure. Lozano, I'll tell you what, and I know we mentioned this last week, and we'll mention it again right now. But we had an outside influence on the beast of the match today for yesterday's match. And we were lucky enough to have him select our beast of the match, so we had no input in it.
Nope.
However, my contenders, I'll reveal my contenders after we.
Sure. Who's your nomination? You want to? Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, after okay. We let our man, take care of announcing the beast of the match, I'll talk about my contenders. But honestly, to be honest with you, I was really I will say this, without trying to give anything away, but I was really, really impressed with Spalletti at the end of the match. So now, and here's a funny thing. I don't know if he put it in here. I asked him to put it in here, but Gaetano made a really funny comment in our tri-state Napoli WhatsApp, and he did put it. All right, so Gaetano, we celebrate goals. Roma celebrates throw-ins and corners. That's for sure. Like every time Roma had a throw-in or a corner or defended well, they'd throw their hands up at the crowd, try to hype the crowd up, which they were. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. But, that's all they were good for yesterday was celebrating throw-ins and corners, and Napoli celebrate goals. So
exactly.
We showed up, man. Like no shots on target for Roma. That's another stat that I saw in one of our group chats. Roma, the last time Roma had no shots against Napoli was in December 2015, and that was at the San Paolo at the time, in Naples. But Mourinho's Roma have never once failed to take a shot on target, and yesterday was the first time. So
but they were the better team, of course, right?
Oh yeah, we'll talk about him. I'll get. Dang, man. But yeah, man, listen, and that's the thing, man. Like this team, we were worried about when Osimhen came back, correct? Right? Thank you, guys. Mm-hmm. I had to pull this out. So one of the WhatsApp chats, he actually one of the guys in there, his name is Roberto, a cool dude. He actually ended up getting the jacket that I have. So Gaetano would remember, so would Pete, and whoever was at Luna last weekend. I wore the Nike Napoli jacket, so he bought it. So everybody was like goo goo gaga over it. So I was like, yeah, I've had that for like a year and a half. I got other stuff too. They tried calling him the King of Drip. Don't get me wrong, Roberto's a nice guy, but the King of Drip is definitely not what he is. That's me, buddy. That's me. That's even though I don't have a kit from this year yet, but I think I'm gonna pass on buying official kits this season. Reason being, I think I'm a little superstitious. Every year for a few years, I buy official kits. I'm going to stay away from the official kits this year.
Till the end of the season?
Till the end of the season, yes. I'll get myself one, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, we were really worried about Osimhen coming back. I mean, I know that we talked about when he comes back.
I wasn't worried. I wasn't worried.
Not worried.
We weren't worried. We weren't worried. No. We weren't worried, Rafa.
Worried is the wrong word.
Listen, I put out the short today, Rafa. All right.
What a beautiful. It was a good job too, by the way. I shared it on our Instagram. Right. Guys, follow us on Instagram too. Shoot, why not? Go get us on Instagram. Actually, on Instagram, we're at Raff and Raff. So RAFF and RAFF. Yeah. Anyway, I wasn't worried about Osimhen coming back. I was concerned with where we're going to put him, how we're going to use him. Raspadori being so great, Simeone doing this thing. Mm-hmm. The three company segment we had last weekend. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
Would we have to change formations, even though I said we shouldn't? Blah, blah, blah. Right? And I got to tell you, man, at 65, 70 minutes, I'm like, okay. Let's go. Kvaratskhelia is getting tired, Well, yeah, he actually didn't end up getting tired. He was really good all game. Lozano's kind of getting gassed, and Dombele's getting a little gassed. Osimhen, listen, it's not happening. Let's take him out. Let's get these fresh legs in. And then even in the 75th, 80th minute, right before Osimhen's goal, I was like, okay, we're going to make this change now because they're tired. Roma's defense is tired. We're going to gas them with we're going to burn them with some, some refuel, And what happens? The only three changes Spalletti makes is Politano for Lozano, and then Elmas and Gaetano for Ndombele and freaking Piotr Zielinski. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Gaetano coming in. I was like, we need a goal. We're putting
I had
in
no
that
idea what
kid.
that was going on.
Oh
Raff,
my
I'm
gosh.
so with you there. I'm like, so this guy gets no burn at all for Cremonese, but he's going to come in at the Stadio Olimpico against Roma in the second half to win the game.
And it's crazy because Bonetti was like, Bonetti was talking him up. And I get it. He did well with Cremonese, 7 goals in 30 something matches. And I'm like, okay, 7 goals is good, but it's not like groundbreaking. You know what I mean? It's good. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
He contributed to Cremonese promotion.
Yeah.
But 0-0 with like 12 minutes left in a game on the road to Roma at the Olimpico, like where we need a goal, that's what you make. That's the substitution you make.
Guy who has 16 minutes under his belt.
But guess what? And then I'm like, okay, we have 2 more subs. We got to make some sort of a substitution.
Rasmus
even after the Osimhen goal, I'm like, okay, let's get.
All right,
first of all,
right.
Oliveira for me had his worst game at a Napoli shirt.
He had a tough time right there. Yeah.
We want to talk about least of the match. Like, it's between Meret because he didn't have to do much at all, or Oliveira because he had a really tough time. But he's stuck with him. He's stuck with him. He's stuck with Juan Jesus. He's stuck with these guys. And guess what, man? We only used 3 of 5 substitutions against Roma. We beat Roma on the road, claim first place by ourselves, get that little bit of distance from Atalanta, who lost to Lazio. Remain tops by ourselves, and then we played Rangers on Wednesday, where we didn't use Mario Rui, we didn't use Raspadori, we didn't use Simeone, we didn't even use Ostigard. We have Ostigard available. We are in good position whenever we rotate now. Like I think we have that upper hand on the rotation, man. And I gotta say, everybody questioning Spalletti and his subs and this and that. At the end of the game, I said to myself, well, that's why I'm an overweight barber watching on TV, yelling at the television, and he's the genius that is Spallettone. You know what I mean? He makes these decisions, and he comes away looking like a freaking genius, Ralph boy.
Sure.
And I gotta say, man, like, I'll spoil it and say it's not Spalletti, but I gotta say, after that match,
he gets a shot. He gets a nom.
He was mine. So if we had to pick, he was mine, and I would have.
And Spalletti already got one this year. He already got a piece of the match already.
He deserves this one too.
This is crazy. You know what? I don't know if you listened in on the press conference too. Speaking of asking, the reporters were like, what? I guess how did you come about making those decisions with the subs? And he said that it was difficult for him to choose what to do. And he thought that he was going to take out Osimhen and put in Raspadori. He was like, I was thinking about it, but then I said, you know what? I'm going to leave these guys in and let them do what they got to do. I guess he had a feel for, how the players were reacting to the game, but whatever it was, he had some type of instinct. And even to put in Gaetano, he's like, I had some instinct to put these guys in, and more importantly, to leave Osimhen into the game based on, I guess, his body, because he was having a hell of a game, Osimhen. He was having a rough, tough game, but he was in there, and that's what you need from that's what you get from Osimhen. You get this ball of energy. Some people like, he's emotional, he's this, he's that. Yeah, but that's part of it. Part of his game is his emotion. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and he goes out there and he does what he can. He chases down defenders. He presses hard. This guy creates goals. I mean, look at the last 2 goals. He creates goals on it. That's a pure Osimhen goal, man.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're
taking
100%
on ball like that.
100% right. Politano's touch to
sure,
the one-time pass from Di Lorenzo,
which started from Gaetano, didn't it? It was Gaetano, Politano.
It was Gaetano. So, I think no.
You had the hockey assist, no?
No, Di Lorenzo sent it to Politano. No, I think you're thinking of the play where he missed it.
No, the goal.
No, it was
maybe I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong.
No, it was Di Lorenzo on that right side to Politano, who one-timed it into Osimhen. And I wanted to bring something up because this is very interesting to me. I'm gonna put this up here really quick, Ralph, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Anthony Navarro. I love Osimhen, but I feel we always just play the long ball to him. I like Raspadori, Simeone because we pass the ball around to create space. Don't need an individual to always be creating on his own. Nothing against Osimhen. I think other teams, though, when Osimhen plays, can figure it out eventually. I'm not saying you're wrong, Anthony, but here's the deal. Roma were very defensive. Now, listen, I don't care. We'll talk about this later with Mourinho anyway. But Roma were very sound defensively, and Zaniolo really did a good job coming back to help out too. So they really
definitely
closed.
Their piece, I feel like
they closed Kvara down for the most part. Kvara still had an amazing game. He always does.
Mm-hmm.
But they figured out how to sort of contain Kvaratskhelia,
right,
and sort of eliminate our short passing in the area, right? In a sense. So what do? We revert back to that long ball. I'll never forget. Pete, I think it was Pete Scala. He said, and it might have been in a private chat. I don't remember if it was on here or in private, but I remember seeing Pete say, we need to give Osimhen, like, he needs to sort of earn his way back on the squad. Like I disagree to a sense, and I agree in a way too. But the way he earned his way back is playing, starting on the bench, coming in, but he scored. So for me, he definitely earned his way back in the starting lineup. And we spoke about how now Osimhen doesn't need to rely on those long balls because we have skilled passing in the area.
Right.
Well, when that's contained, what do? Go right back to that long ball, and it freaking caused a win. Now Napoli can win beautifully. They can win big. They can win from behind. They can win in a hostile environment. They can win in tough defensive spaces, tight defensive spaces. They can win using short passing, smart passing, long balls to Osimhen. Like, this team can win every which way, and it doesn't matter who's on the pitch from the bench. This team has got it, man. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Napoli guy. Everybody knows my optimism is every single year Napoli's got a shot at something.
Right.
But I mean, it's clear to see. I mean, the whole world is watching. Everybody knows this is a dangerous Napoli team. This is not your Napoli team from last season where, yes, technically we had a better start than this season. I know Mike Grella on CBS is saying things like, look what they did last year. They won their first 8, this and that. So did Milan. Okay. Milan had their best start since 1962 when we had our second, best start ever. We this season are just a different beast, man. We are. And now, Anthony, I get what you're saying, but honestly, when it all isn't working, what do? We revert back to that long ball to Osimhen, right. And he just had to muscle past a really tired Chris Smalling, who had a pretty good game.
Rafa,
and we got the job done.
Listen, I'll tell you, we got a style with Victor. We have a style with Raspadori, maybe even Simeone. That's the thing now, is that we got options. We have different ways to score. There's Kvara, where we saw no wings. Now we have wings. Don't forget that we relied on that long ball last season because that's all we could do. Our wingers did nothing. They produced nothing. Our midfield was lost. Fabian Ruiz was he wasn't cutting the mustard. You want to call the position, you want to call the formation, say what you want, that's fine. But we had nothing else. And I don't think, and I'll say this one more time, then we're going to move on. I want to do the beast of the match, Rafa, but Victor Osimhen doesn't need to earn anything. Don't forget, he was the only guy scoring goals for this team at one point. Mm-hmm. Don't forget that. And when he went down, we couldn't score. That cost us the Scudetto. He does not have to earn anything. It's Raspadori and Simeone who needed to earn their way onto this team. And they did well. And now what do we have? We have 3 strikers. We have 3 different guys that can do the job differently. Yesterday, you have a Roma that is tired, what Mourinho said, that was maybe depleted with some players. I know they were missing a few players. They had a handful of Primavera players on the bench as well. Okay, so you got these tired guys. They're all carded up. And guess what? You got Victor running, and the only thing you can do is foul him or handle him or whatever. Did the job. got the goal. The goal was beautiful. That was a bad angle shot that my God, a few inches either way, would have been a miss.
Bro,
So
some could argue that he had a better angle in the shot that he missed before that, right?
probably,
yeah, bro. Like
definitely.
that. So Medet's only involvement was that low cross in the middle where Medet came out. There was a little bit of a scrum in the box, and then the ball comes out wide to I forgot who. I think it was Cristante, and then Zielinski goes ahead and slide tackles him, sending the ball up. I believe to I want to say it was to Lobotka or Lozano, but I don't remember who. But they find Victor Osimhen, and Victor Osimhen at sort of the same spot, but in a better angle, misses the net by like a yard or so. And then his ball that he put in was just from an impossible angle. And the thing is that he didn't even look up to see where he was shooting. He knew where to go. Like if you look at that replay again, he knew exactly where to be. He knew exactly what the way he bodied Smalling with his arm too, man. That's a big thing, man. He uses his arms to get in front of him. Then he outpaces him. He outmuscled. Then he outpaced. And it was just a freaking world class goal for me. Goal of the week candidate. On Serie A sit down. So, guys, if you're watching, that's my take on that. But yeah, let's
guys. Beast of the match. Let's talk about it. Who was your beast of the match? I want you to put it in the live chat, guys. Or if you're listening on the replay, put it in the comments. Tell us what you thought. We had a very special chooser. That's a terrible word. Selector. All right. Patrick Kendrick, who did call the game worldwide, by the way. It was great for him. He called the Napoli Roma game, and I asked him last week, please, would you do the honor of picking the beast of the match? He did. And we're going to show it to you right now, guys. But in the meantime, tell me what's yours. We're about to show you ours. Let's go.
Right, here we go then. The Raff and Raff rant. Good evening, everyone. Nice to see you. Sorry I couldn't be on the show tonight, but very honoured to have been chosen to pick out the beast of the match, and it had to be Big Victor Osimhen. If at first you don't succeed, try again. When he spurned that earlier opportunity, everyone started to think, is it not his night? After a quiet first half, I was speculating, do they bring on Simeone? Do they bring on Raspadori? Clearly, I know nothing about football. Luciano Spalletti knows all, which is why he left Raspadori and Simeone on the bench. And Osimhen not only shrugged off Smalling, he then absolutely smashed the ball past Rui Patricio. As much as I would have loved to have given the Beast of the Match award to Elif, the Diamond Geezer Elmas. Panchina mia, oh core, questo core, sei stato primo amore. I wasn't able to on this occasion. Hopefully, sometime in the future. Anyway, I'm going to sign off because I am off to Naples bright and early tomorrow. Cheeky trip to Castelvolturno. So I will say ciao for now. Enjoy.
There it is, guys. Thank you, Patrick Kendrick, for that, man.
The best in the freaking business, Patrick Kendrick, bro. Awesome video. Thank you so much.
Patrick Kendrick is a sweet secret Napoli fan.
Hey, man, listen.
I'll take it.
When your fiance, girlfriend, whatever, is a Napolitan and is a Napoli fan, you have to go. Listen. I'm a New York sports fan. I'm not supposed to be a Philly fan, but my fiance, she's a Philly fan. I like the city. I've become a sympathizer of Philadelphia sports. Yes, I've said it. I've become a sympathizer for Philadelphia sports. Not a fan. Not going to cheer for them against a New York team. But Patrick Kendrick's girl is Napolitana, and she's a Napoli fan. So is the family. He's got to be. And plus, he loves Napoli. Come on. He's got to be a Napoli guy. He has to be. So, thank you again for Patrick. Look at this beautiful graphic too, Ralph. You tops, man. Tops.
Thank you.
Patrick Kendrick edition.
Patrick Kendrick is fire right here, guys. But yeah, but again, thank you to Patrick. And listen, I totally agree with him. I mean, you know, it was the only goal of the game. He started this game. He was kept in. Spalletti clearly believed in him. Spalletti clearly saw something. He had that glimmer in his eyes. He had the glimmer for goal. He wanted it. He got it. He did it by bodying his defender, a guy that was just hassling him all game long. I'm so happy for the kid. I knew after this injury he was going to come back and he was going to score goals. He did. There's 3 in a row. Big shout out to Lozano because I did enjoy his performance. It was probably one of the best I've seen. Avanti così, because Lozano is just a matter of time. He continues to play like this. It's a matter of time. Then he gets the BOTM. But for now, I want Victor to enjoy this because he earned it. And despite everything that he's went through over the past few weeks, I'm super happy that he did win it this week. I'm super happy that Patrick recognized it and picked him. So, beast of the match, Victor Osimhen.
Definitely beast of the match. Listen, before the goal, I had in my head Victor should win the beast of the match, even before the goal. And Lozano was right there, and then like I said, until the final whistle, where I was like, oh man, this should be Spalletti's. But Patrick was there watching, calling it, and he had his opportunity. And it's not like it's not deserved. He 100% is the beast of the match. I'm hoping for more beast performances from him. Obviously,
he'll get him.
Everybody, yeah.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
He'll get him.
But you're right, Lozano is there, man. He's there, and I got to tell you something. That's another thing with Spalletti. Look at the difference in performance on the wings, man. Like last season, we had nothing on the wing. Now we have wing play. It's just this is something to behold, Ralph.
Well, Rob, let me ask you then: is it that one piccola cosa that maybe we were missing, or maybe it's a few other things? I don't know, but I think this is an important question because every time I spoke to my family in Italy or my friends in Italy, in Napoli, and they would always say like, "Oh, ADL manca quella piccola cosa, quella piccola cosa." It's always like that one little thing, and we can never figure it out, Raff. I mean, since the start of the show, we always like, "What is it?" Some of us say mentality. Some of us say a better bench, maybe that one player, maybe that one star, the top player. Well, guess what? We got 25 top players now, I think. Yeah. We got a bench that is reliable. In fact, if anything, it's the catalyst, not the catalyst, but it is maybe the main reason at times of our wins, right? Protagonist. Thank you. It's certainly for our wins. We got, and you know what? Don't forget ADL this year in a press conference finally said we're gonna win a Scudettos this year. I swear I've been following this guy. I listened to all his interviews, bad or good. I never heard him say we will win a Scudetto. He says, yes, I know we're supposed to win Scudettos. I know that the fans want it. I understand that. But now he's saying it. And to me, that piccola cosa was him making the necessary decisions to get the team where it needs to be in order to win. Because guess what, ADL? I know you like money. And you know what? That's okay. But in order to win, you need the right team to win. Because with those wins, look, ESPN had like 2 posts on Twitter today with Napoli. Never happened. I never saw 2 posts in one day about Napoli and ESPN. Even when they had the contracts, even when they had the rights to show the games in Serie A, they never did that. We saw one with Kim. We saw one with Napoli. We're seeing other ones. Oh, is Napoli the best team in Europe now? You see what happens when you win? You not just win, but win decisively. You see what happens when the whole team is involved, when you have quality that comes up the bench. This is what happens. And I hope ADL starts getting used to this because mentality was the issue, Rafa. And I know that the team believed in themselves, but it's like sometimes they were lacking a few tools in their toolbox in order to get that one little thing that can capture a win. And we're starting to see it more and more. And yesterday, for me, was the biggest test. Yesterday, as far as mentality goes, was a huge test for me. Now, mind you, if you look at our record against Roma in the past, we're up on them. It's like 14 wins to 9 losses.
Yeah.
I think we got like 5 draws or something like that.
This was, I believe, the 6th or 7th consecutive result against Roma. Like
more or less,
I don't think they've beaten us in about 6 or 7.
Right. And so was last night a coin toss? I don't know, maybe, but either way, the coin fell on Napoli, and I'll take it. But I mean, with 0 shots on goal from Roma,
and that's what I'm saying. Like that's what pisses me off about Mourinho's freaking comments, and we can touch on that in a minute. But yeah, so for me, the piccola cosa is, it's just the fact that we gained let me see. I'm having trouble getting my words together here right now. We gained depth in one area. For me, we improved in the striker position. And for me, or in the forward position, in our forwards generally, we improved. Not only did we replace Insigne well, but we replaced Petagna with Raspadori and Simeone. Maybe some could say we replaced Mertens too with Raspadori, but at the same time,
I would say that.
I would, but I wouldn't, because we also changed formations. Like, so when we played a 4-2-3-1, Mertens was our number 10 behind Osimhen. Right?
We replaced 2018 Mertens.
Sure. In a 4-3-3, Mertens plays in Osimhen's spot. So for me, we replaced one player with 2 world-class players. Because for me, Raspadori and Simeone together is world-class. We have Zielinski in that, not regista, but in that, midfield role where, he's more of an attacking mid, right? And I think we really improved in our forward positioning, man. Like, when Osimhen was hurt last year, we had Petagna and Mertens. Now, Mertens, listen, Mertens is Mertens. He's a club legend. But let's face the facts. Ankle injury, getting up there in age, just wasn't cutting it for me anymore. Listen, and don't get me wrong. I was always excited to watch Mertens play and have him start. I'm not regressing my feelings about him or Insigne or anybody else that left. I'm not. 10 times out of 10, I want those players on my team for the times that we had them. But moving on was very important. And that's my piccola cosa. Having depth at that forward position to where,
huge.
Don't worry about Osimhen. He pulled up an ankle injury. He'll be out for a week or 2. We got these guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have 2 guys that can take care of that.
Yep.
And that's my piccola cosa. Now, the grande cosa, una cosa grande, is mentalidad. You can't tell me this team has the same mentality as last year. And I'm sorry that I have to say this, and this might upset a lot of people, but I think Insigne was number 1 on that list, man. He had to go. I saw some people in here saying he was shit on the left last year. Maybe he wasn't as good as he usually is on the left. Maybe Kvaratskhelia is just so good that he's making Insigne not look as good as he usually is. But at the same time, I just think the time was up. And ADL, Giuntoli, Spalletti, Insigne himself all realized that, you know what, this is it. This is the time. It's up. Let's move on, everybody. And, I don't know about toxic, Cal. I know you're saying Insigne was toxic. Maybe, maybe not. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, either way you look at it, whatever you're feeling about Insigne right now is, I still love him very much and wish him nothing but the best in Canada at the MLS for next season. But it just had to be. It had to be. Exactly. I like what Sean said. Insigne let his emotions get in the way of his game. 100%. Now we got these guys that don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. They're here to win. They're here to go. And it's working, man. So that's my cosa grande. But I don't know how you feel about my cosa piccola. It's improvement in the forward line, man.
I think it's a lot of little things, Rafa. It's a lot of little things that needed to come together, and they did. And maybe the Cosa Grande, like you said, was this new revamping of the team, these new guys that came in, out with the old, in with the new. Again, not to be disrespectful, I liked Insigne. I think he did great for many years on Napoli, but just seemed that by not year 9 and 10, it was probably time for a change. And that's not knocking the guy, but it's just saying, hey, it's time for change. Everybody changes jobs, changes apartments, changes cities for all different kinds of reasons. Maybe Insigne just wanted a new challenge. Maybe he wanted to get away. Maybe he just wanted to get out the city a little bit. Of course, he loves it. He was born near there. He's a huge part of it. But sometimes you lose it a little bit, and sometimes distance makes the heart grow fonder. He got a big bag of money, man. Don't ever forget that we have a little Scunizzo in the MLS right now getting a bag of money, man. That is definitely influential for all the other Scunizzos on the streets. If you're a Napolitan playing with your Super Santos in the piazza, playing pickup soccer with your friends, you could talk about Lorenzo Insigne now going to Canada and making a boatload of money. They can have that hope. Maybe they can't make it in Italy. Maybe they can't make it in Europe. There's other options for them now. And I know MLS is not everybody's favorite league, but hey, listen, if you're getting paid to be a professional athlete, God bless, man. It doesn't matter what league you're in. I will take any league to be a paid professional athlete. So.
Listen, let me tell you something about the MLS, okay? And then we'll get back to our topic at hand. MLS is not terrible anymore. It's not. I'm not going to put it up against the top 5 leagues in Europe. Let's get that straight. But the MLS is actually really entertaining. It's trust me, it's not the football that it was 5-10 years ago where it just was unwatchable. Because trust me, it was unwatchable for me. I got into the New York City aspect of the league for Pirlo because listen, I know he's Juventino, but he was a Milanista first, and he was an Italian legend.
Right.
I love the guy. Don't get me wrong. I'm sorry. That's if I got to pick one Juventino to love, it's him. And also because of, the fact that, they were blue like us. They were playing Yankee Stadium. I'm not a Yankee fan, but I grew up 3, 5, 10 minutes from there. No traffic. It just was I have a connection with New York City, and their idea of staying in New York City kept me there. Even that wasn't good enough for me to watch religiously until a couple years ago where I got into it, and I'm like, you know what? It's not that bad. Don't give MLS that a bad name anymore, because I think Insigne had a really a good idea of what they're becoming, and decided, you know what? Not only am I going to take the money, but I'm going to go play in a tough competition. Insigne, Bernardeschi, and Criscito should have taken that team to the playoffs, even in the situation they were in. They were in a pretty bad situation when they got there, but they were producing results, and they could have gotten them to the playoffs. Some things went wrong. Yeah,
I love saying that.
Yeah. Some things went wrong. Next year they start afresh. Insigne, listen, if he's that toxic, he'll screw Toronto up. But you know what? I don't think so. Again, like I said, I think his cycle was over. ADL is spot on with the cycle, man. And I did see a really good question, and then we'll move on. I saw a really good question that Chris Estrada put up here, and it's this. My question is, why is Insigne the problem of mentality? So now it's a one-man problem? That's the $1 million question, Chris Estrada. That's the $1 million question. Was it just a one-man problem? Fabian didn't want to play there anymore. Koulibaly wanted to get that money. He had one hand on the money. Mertens wanted playing time to play in the World Cup, and everybody's contracts were up. Ospina too, same thing. Was it at the end of last season a collective? I mentioned this last weekend. When Meret made that mistaken goal against Empoli, everybody's heads were down. It was over. They gave up. They gave up the third goal. They lost the game. We lost the Scudetto, blah, 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 right? Now that they're gone and the new crew is in, we're unbeaten. We're undefeated. 11-game win streak in all competitions. Unbelievable turnaround. Unbelievable.
Right. Unbeaten. Who would have thought? Certainly not the bookies. Certainly not Jose Mourinho, because yesterday in his press conferences, 2 of them, he was a little bit of SOURHINO. Yeah, I got one thing to say to that. All right. Now he was having a post game interview with Dazn. Did I say that right? DAZN. Is that how they pronounce it? The zone. Is that what it is? And he had said that his team didn't merit the loss, and Napoli didn't deserve the win, and Lozano was falling all over the place. And it's like, bro, what team deserves a win when they don't get a shot on target? I mean, give me a break. Like, salty shit. And you know the funny part? Like, take away my banner, bro. Oh, is it wrong?
I hit the wrong button.
No.
I hit the wrong button. Go ahead. Sorry.
Is it wrong again? I think I spelled it wrong again, Rafa. Maybe we should hide it. We'll figure that out.
Hold on. I'll take care of it. Yeah, no, go ahead.
Ho, right? SOURHINO.
SOURHINO.
Yeah. I don't want to know about your business, Rafa.
Not my business. Hey, listen, you came up with this tag, SOURHINO.
I spelled it wrong twice today, man. Shit.
That's okay. It's hard. Listen, we're not Portuguese. Don't worry about it. But I listen. You came up with a tagline, right? I came up with a few too. Maybe we should.
Yeah, but you inspired me. That's the thing. So there is no this without you.
Mourinho, right? Mourinho.
Show more respect. We had a bunch of them.
Oh, you know what? I just thought of one right now. Say it ain't Mo.
Say it.
What you remember Bo Jackson? For those who are alive when we were the geriatric dinosaurs that we are from the early 1980s. Bo Jackson used the tagline, Bo knows whatever, insert sport here. Bo knows baseball.
Bo knows this and Bo knows that.
Mo don't know Napoli. Mo don't know ball.
Nope.
Mo don't know ball. Anyway, SOURHINO is
the name of the segment and the name of Mourinho's attitude yesterday, because it was just uncalled for. Listen, even Spalletti in the press conference, he gave props, he gave dap to. We ain't that old. I like this.
Pasquale must be our age then.
Probably, right? Rafa was like, if you were alive. Anyway, no, but listen, even Spalletti gave Roma dap. They gave Inter, Juve. He showed respect across the board. In fact, the reporter, the person who gave him the question, was like, do you think that the quality in your bench is more? When he's like, hold on, Roma has quality too. Don't forget that. And he interrupted the interviewer by saying Roma has quality. Don't forget that. And it just came down to planning. And what Spalletti said, he planned this one a little better. He didn't get caught up in the traps. He made sure he obviously praised the defense and not letting them come up to the box, and praised how Napoli did in the final third. Mourinho can only talk about the fouls. He can only talk about Lozano fouling, all the damn yellow cards.
See what pissed me off about Mourinho, and here we go. I'm gonna go on my rant, right? He effing talked about Lozano diving. Oh, that's okay.
Wrong button. Go ahead.
Wrong Raff.
Rafa.
All he could talk about is Lozano diving, but it's in the manner that he did it. He totally disrespected him. He said something like, and that little player that they have there, the one that dives all the time. Oh, yeah, his name is Lozano.
Who you calling little?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That guy knows how to draw fouls. That's the difference between diving and drawing fouls. And I can't believe I have to school Mourinho on this. Like, are you actually insinuating Lozano dives? The guy's hacked all the time, as is Kvaratskhelia, as is Osimhen. And I don't want to hear it. Just really total disrespect by Mourinho. I thought he was better than this. He could have easily come out and said, you know what? The better team won. The team that took shots won the game. Say it ain't so, Mo. Say it ain't Mo.
Well, he seemed to calm down in the press conference after, the one where you sit down and you're answering all the questions. He seemed to watch his words then. But it's like, well, you already shot yourself in the foot. You disrespected our player. You said we didn't deserve the win. Hello. How many chances?
Those are going to get the headlines, though, Ralph. Like the headlines are going to be like, oh, and then Mourinho calmed down when he sat down. That's not going to get the headline.
They didn't get the headline.
I saw because you saw the press conference. Fine. The headlines I saw, I didn't see the press conferences. What I saw was he's crying like a little baby, as if he didn't win everything on planet Earth to win. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, dude, give us a little more credit. Like, I did see he went to Spalletti after the match and hugged him. I know they have a nice relationship. I know they friendly banter back and forth, which is fun and it's great. He calls him Spallettone. Last year was funny because he said, what are you going to win all the games from us? And hey, we're doing it this year too. But listen, you don't take a shot on net. You don't win the game. He said literally, oh, the team that won didn't deserve to win, but the team that lost didn't deserve to lose. So he didn't necessarily say Roma deserved to win. But does that mean you're out there looking for a draw? Don't go out there looking for a draw against Napoli and then be upset that you lost to Napoli.
Right.
Be glad that you only gave up one goal, bro. Honestly.
Right. I agree. I think we should have banged in more goals, man, but didn't happen that way. Whatever. Again, I'll take a 1-0 win because the win's a win at the end of the day. But listen, he went out there, he instructed his players to be rough and physical, and he got caught up. I mean, if this was the first game that we saw this, I'm like, all right, maybe he has somewhat of a point. But let's be honest, the whole season, Champions League, all this, we have put so many teams in foul trouble. It's consistent with the way we're playing. You know why? Because we're doing so damn good that you have no choice but to foul us. We're so quick. Our feet are always moving that you stick your leg in to try to do a tackle, you step on our foot. Guess what? That's a card. That's a foul. It is what it is. It's like the last man. You got Lozano sprinting forward. You got Cavada sprinting forward. You got Osimhen sprinting forward. You even got Zielinski. My God, yesterday was on fire, sprinting forward. You have Ndombele, who can go from standstill from 0 to 60 in a matter of milliseconds, sprinting forward. And guess what? They're getting fouled because these guys, they can't handle it. They can't handle the pace. They can't handle the strength. And if they can't use their strength and if they can't use their pace, guess what? They're passing the ball along to the guy on the right, creating these triangles, slow, step by step, getting to the final third and blasting shots from everywhere on the field. Everywhere. 15 goal scores, shit ton of cards we drew. All right. Super pace, super strength, organized. And guess what? Somebody said it earlier. I'm going to reuse Anthony. Not sure if you guys feel this way. This team, I'm not getting panicked when we go down a goal or before a game. I'm not worried as much anymore. I think the team's mental strength is spreading to the fans. Yes, because that's what the team has, mental strength. So that's showing up. It's showing up in the results, not only the results, but the stats of the game. And it's going in our favor. You know why? Because we're working the hardest, man. We're working the hardest. We are sure of ourselves. Napoli deserved the win. Jose Mourinho, I'm sorry. We deserve to win. Maybe not so much your team this year. All right. You had our number last year. We got your number this year. And that's just the way it is. It's just the way that. And I know they got some injuries. I get it. And I don't want to hear, oh, well, Dybala wasn't there. You know what? I'm tired of why the other team lost and not why Napoli won. I'm just tired of that conversation. You know why your team lost? Because our team is better than yours. And that's what happens. That's what happens.
Basically,
we put so much pressure. We put your defenders in foul trouble. We're pressing so hard that you can't handle it. And your whole management, it's almost as if Spalletti is there. His management is just, he's out managing the other managers now. And the teams don't know what to do. They're scrambling. They're fouling. They're playing a little dirty. They're hacking. They don't know what to do. And our defense is just so on point. We're taking away chances.
You're right, 100%. And something I wanted to bring up too. You mentioned a bunch of things that we're doing right. Another thing that we're doing right, man, is and Cassano said this. Cassano on his Instagram said this. He said that Spalletti doesn't get enough credit that he should get more credit. He has this team playing and not changing their game. They are not They scored that goal in the 70 whatever minute, 79th, 80th minute, right? And you did not see them pull back. You did not see them create the bus. You did not see them defend for 10 minutes. You saw Kim Min-jae at the 3-quarter line continuing to help in the attack and press, you know what I mean, and catch them on an offside trap. You saw this team continue forward. We wanted another one. We were trying to get another one. Unbelievable. Yeah, Kyle is right. Casano on Bobo TV. This was particularly on his Instagram story or reel. My cousin sent me a DM about it. But yeah, on Bobo TV, he has been saying so many good things about Napoli. But, another thing, and I wanted to shout this guy out because he asked me, he asked us on Twitter, so I might as well mention him. And I'm not sure if he's watching live right now. He might be watching, but it's Spider Rinaldi on Twitter. If you're on here, if one of these guys are you, let me know. But he tweeted us, Raff, and he says, this season I see Napoli way more dangerous after taking the lead in a game. I feel like this is one big reason why we've been able to score insurance goals late in matches. Yesterday, after Ossi's goal, I felt like we could have scored another. Exactly what I just said. Roma was forced to play more attacking, but we had the ability to play an aggressive counter style of play and limited Roma's possession. We have players, some old, some new, who are great in open space and isolated one-on-one. Spalletti deserves credit for existing this style of play. Sometimes the best defense is a good offense. I couldn't agree more on most of what you said. I think Napoli are still a dangerous team when we go down. But you're 100% right, man. Oh, it is Mike. Okay, Rinaldi's in there. Yeah. Okay, Mike, thank you. Appreciate that. I still have to correlate who's on Twitter and who's in here. You know what I mean? You guys have different names everywhere. But yeah, man, good tweet, dude. I loved it because it actually correlated with what I heard Casano say and with what we were just talking about, man. This team doesn't change. So for SOURHINO to come out and say things like he said,
that's gonna stick for a long
time. Pisses me off, man. It's because it's wrong. It's wrong. He's smarter than that. He should know.
Hey, our boys in Israel, man. Enjoy. You know what? What do you eat for breakfast? This is kind of a question we ask people who are kind of on the other side of the world in these different time zones that are like really early in the morning right now. We have our friends from Australia. We got some from Israel now. I want to know, what do Israelis eat for breakfast?
Listen, and while you answer that, healthier than we are. They're all healthier.
That's what I want to know. I need to know so I can do this.
You can learn a thing or two from our international friends.
What is that? Krav Maga? What is that? I'm going to do a little bit of we're going to do a little of that shit. It's rough out here in New York City, man. I got to learn some type of stuff.
Got to learn some of it.
But as you answer, I'm going to put on some closing music. All right, guys, here we go.
Go right ahead. Right. I got a DM recently from inquiring about these Maradona kits that we have. Nikolaj Lindberg, he's from Denmark and he watches us, bro. So I want to shout him out too. We're shouting out all the internationals. I saw Mo was in here. Mo Salad was in here, which is awesome. I want to say thank you for him showing up. And our Israeli friends and our international friends. Thank you so much, man. It humbles us, really. It does. I'm not joking. To know how far we can reach people, and it's we're trying to grow Napoli on this side of the world, right? Yeah. We're trying to grow Napoli in America, but our main goal is to reach the English-speaking Napoli fans, those who's either fluent in English or whose first language is English, and can't speak Italian, can't really understand that. That's our goal, man, is to grow this English language community, right? No matter where you're at,
bring Napoli to the English speaking world,
Yeah, man, that's our main goal, and we got a lot of big things coming. There's not a lot we can disclose about it right now, but we're working on some big stuff. Raff and I.
Zio, Raff, and Raff are putting in some hard work. So please,
listen, it's about time,
guys,
right?
give us a like, subscription, Please share it. It's like we're trying to grow here. We cannot do it without you. We cannot do it without you. Please share this.
Yeah, everybody should be liking.
There was 2 people in here earlier that were like, "Whoa, you watch this channel too?" Listen, a lot of people watch this channel. You'd be surprised, man. So please help us out. There's not many of us in the world, and you know.
Look at this. We have a Nigerian watching.
See, look at that, man.
Felix Peters.
I think that I probably saw you today because I put out that video. About us talking about Victor Rafa, that short, and Oma shared it, and I think right from that point, like 3 people from Nigeria came in. Like,
we got to get Oma back in here. We will get Oma back in here soon.
He says we eat many things, but there is an Israeli breakfast dish, shakshuka. I hope I said that right.
Shakshuka.
Shakshuka. About right,
tomato
right?
sauce with eggs. Hey, man, that's
great.
That's eggs. What's that? Eggs in purgatory, right?
Yes, something like that, right?
Yeah. So you have sauce that you fry the egg in the sauce, right? So my mom, growing up, my mom used to do that. You know, she'd get the old sauce from the day before or a couple of days before, and she'd put it in the pan, and she would freaking literally fry the egg right in the sauce, 3, 4, 5 of them, and we would just eat the eggs like that. So good. So good. I recommend everybody trying that. Awesome.
Let's get a big Fortunapolis.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you for that. Thank you for disclosing that. Big Fortunapolis sempre. Who do we got next week, Rafa? Who's the next Sunday?
So next week it's Sassuolo at home.
Okay.
I'll check that date. But yeah, man, Wednesday 2:45, 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Napoli Rangers. CBS Sports, Paramount Plus for those in America, and it's great. Actually, the CBS Paramount crew for the Champions League, who usually do their panel in London, are coming out to Brooklyn. They're going to the Brooklyn Bridge Park.
You know.
Tickets. It's a ticketed event. They weren't for sale. They were free admission, but they were limited. Once they advertised for it and put a QR code on the screen, I tried to get us tickets, Ralph. They were gone like that. Kate Abdo actually came out after the QR code came on and said, "Hey, just as fast as we announced it, as fast as it was gone." I reached out to a few people to see if we can get in, Ralph, through a little bit of, we know a guy knows a guy. Under the gate, knows a guy.
See, for those international in New York, well, there's a saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Exactly.
We know a couple guys.
Exactly. And we got CBS guys, don't we? We got a CBS guy. But it didn't work. It didn't turn out. So we'll get to it.
We'll be home. We'll be home.
Hey, listen, we're in the knockout stage already, so screw it, right? We'll get to a game.
We'll be fine. We don't need no.
Do you want to drop one of the big announcements now? I know we said we were going to wait for a.
I don't. I do.
You don't.
Let's go.
No, want to, or you do.
I don't want to. But we could. I wanted to wait.
We don't have to. We can make them wait just another day.
Let's wait another day. I want to get all those details.
But
there's a big announcement. I will say this. There is a big announcement.
Please, if
save
you're watching,
how about
stay tuned. Well, want to save? No, let's not give them the date either, because they might figure it out. Guys,
doesn't matter.
Please keep killing me. Please keep on the lookout for an announcement. Okay, save the date. There's the date. An announcement is coming on the Raff and Raff Napoli rant page, on Tri-State Napoli page, on other various pages. You'll get it tomorrow, possibly. What do you think? Tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah. No, we'll put out.
We'll drop it tomorrow. Promise.
Here's the hint. Here's the hint. I'll give you this much.
Okay, there's the hint. Visit our pages to get the info. Got me? Keep your eyes on us.
Let's do it. But thank you again, Rafa. Great show as always. Thank you to everybody in our live chat. Thank you to all our audio listeners. Awesome show today. We beat Roma 1-0. Super happy. Avanti così, guys. Avanti così. And Forza Napoli sempre.
Salutate la capolista.
Ciao, belli.